All right, all right. We are back at the podcast studio today. We're in Belmar, and we have a very special guest on. We have Matt Catania from Jersey Mike's franchise system. How are you today?
I'm fantastic. How you doing?
Excellent. So, Jersey Mike's, what a great local place. We're in Belmar. We have one right down the street from us. You go back to our Manasquan location. You have to pass 2 more to get there.
That's right.
Great system. Great subs. Great everything.
I appreciate that. Yeah, super blessed to be a part of the company. You know, Peter Kanko, founder, started it back when he was 17 years old. Couldn't legally slice, but he bought the business when he was 17, and the rest is kind of history.
The rest is history.
Yeah.
And you have a great leadership team. Peter, Mike Manzo.
Yeah.
It's a great group of guys that are helping expand this.
Yeah, absolutely. Peter, Mike Manzo, John Hughes were kind of the original core there, and they become not only really good friends but great mentors to us. So very, very lucky to be involved with them.
So tell us, how many stores do you have?
So currently, John Helm and my business partner and I have 47 stores.
47 stores. Look at that. That's tremendous, and they're in multiple states.
Yeah. So we have 7 in Florida, 29 in Jersey, and the rest up in Massachusetts area.
Right, and there's expansion coming too.
Yeah. So we have another 2 opening in New Jersey. Hopefully by January. We're under construction right now in both of those stores. One in Newton and one in Millville. And then we have another 8 territories we signed for in Massachusetts, which we're just looking for the real estate right now.
That's fantastic. And everybody loves Jersey Mike's.
Yeah.
And people outside of the area like Jersey Mike's.
Yeah. Thank God.
Thank God. That's right. I mean, how many stores nationwide do they have? About 3,000?
Just over 3,000. Yeah, it's kind of a cool thing because I went to Point Beach High School where Peter graduated, and met all those gentlemen you mentioned. So it's kind of cool being able to share what I grew up with people who never really had it before. So
that's really cool, and it's such a great local success story. From the Jersey Shore. Like, that is awesome. I mean,
yeah, it's awesome. Yeah.
So I mean, now you run your own systems, you run your own stores under their corporate umbrella, but the idea is that you guys have a playbook that you work off of, that use the same bread, the same.
Yeah. I mean, franchise model has been really good to us. The way I kind of describe it, you're part of a larger company, but you run it like your own.
Your own.
Yeah.
So you could do your own local marketing.
Yeah, we do our own local marketing, and we get a ton of support from them for that. But the biggest part is getting the right people in, and that's kind of
bringing on the right GMs.
That's it. People are everything in this business. We always say we sell subs, and we think we sell really good ones, but we're in the people business.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, starting out, this wasn't your career path. Like, you didn't say, I'm going to become Jersey Mike's operator.
Yeah, no. So I graduated in 2002 from college. I went to law school. I graduated in 06 and became a lawyer. Practiced for a couple years, and
what did you think of law?
Well, I don't know if I could say this directly enough, but I hated every single second of my life. And I remember I had that aha moment, and it's like kind of out of a movie, but it really happened to me. My alarm went off one morning, and the first thing that came out of my mouth, I remember specifically, I yelled. It was a 4-letter word, which I'm not going to repeat on the podcast, but I yelled it out, and I just remember thinking, like, that was the first word that came out of my mouth when my alarm went off to start my day, and I was like, this is
what am I doing?
What am I doing?
Makes you say, like, what am I doing? I'm young. There's 100 other things I could do.
100%. Yeah, I was in my late 20s at the time, and I was just like, this is crazy. So, my best friend from high school, John, I'll never forget. He said, I guess he was sick of me complaining to him, and he said, "Hey, if you ever want to get in the sub business," he used that term. He said, "You want to get in the sub business? Let me know." And then we talked for about 6 months about our partnership, the vision for the company, all that kind of stuff. We thought we'd be a good fit. And
you still friends?
Yeah. He's still my best friend to this day. And
20 years later,
20 years later,
whatever.
Yeah, pretty cool.
So he's still your best friend.
Yeah. We're still in the office every day, and I couldn't be more blessed to have a partner like him. And I know there's a lot of partnerships that could go either way, but
partnerships are hard.
Yeah. No, they're definitely not easy, but I think we work on it. And I think the biggest thing is we try to stay in our lanes and put our pride aside and all that kind of stuff. So it's been fantastic.
That's great. And you just keep opening stores. So the model's working for you guys.
Yeah. I think we're at the point now. We've been given a lot. And I think now it's our time. We want to make sure the guys that helped us grow, guys and girls that have helped us grow throughout, we want to give them more opportunity. So, it's so exciting now to see people that were with us since they're 16, 17, and now they're buying their first house, or they're getting married, or they're having kids, and like doing all these things that, as a result of our business and what we're doing. And it's a pretty cool thing. So I think the more we grow, the more opportunity we provide to those.
Yep. Has some of your GMs ended up buying a store?
Yeah. We've had about 7 or 8 people that have, started with us, and now they're franchisees.
It's awesome.
Yeah. And then all of our regional managers that are in our company right now all have percentage ownership in our stores as well. So
keep everybody hustling.
Yeah, and they deserve it because they work just as hard. And
they're getting it done they have boots on the street.
Absolutely, 100%.
So you're down in Brielle, not in Massachusetts.
Yeah, right, yeah, absolutely.
So that's great. And now, and again, I think Jersey Mike's just overall, like we said, is a great company. They donate, and they, the Ocean and Monmouth County stores, helping my toy drive every year, which is awesome. Just to see the amount of toys that come through Jersey Mike's, and working with Adam and Mike to
awesome.
Get 35 stores coordinated to collect toys and give out a free sub. And I don't think that everybody realizes how generous Jersey Mike's really is.
Yeah, and that comes from the top. Peter's just an incredibly generous guy, and the funny thing is, for all the stuff that people see that he gives, and even day of giving and month of giving and all that kind of stuff, there's so many things that people don't see that he gives and does on the side that is not publicized, and it's just a one-off. And he doesn't want anybody to know about.
But he doesn't give. He doesn't give for the attention. He
no,
gives
that's
in,
who he
in
is.
His heart, that's what he believes.
100%.
Which is great. And again, I think when you look at some other systems, they don't have those same core values as Peter and Mike do.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's what drew us to Jersey Mike's, is that we did share the same values. And I don't bash anybody else. Everybody's got their own core values and things that are important to them. This just happens to be what's really important, is giving back and having a positive impact on people.
And I think when you think about it, it comes back 10 times over. Like they always say, giving comes back 10 times over. But in your case, I really believe those days of giving that cost the company lots of money.
Yeah, we would like to think
3,000 stores, and you can figure out the math.
Yeah,
it's a big thing.
It is. It's a big nut for sure. But whether it comes back or not, hopefully it does. But I think if you do it for the right reason, everything kind of takes care of itself. Yeah,
people become more loyal to you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
You could get it. On Manalocan Road, you can get a sandwich at multiple places.
Yeah,
they come to you because of all the things you do.
Yeah, 100%.
You help the schools, you help the kids, you help the toys, you help this, you help that. You have the day of giving, and people then want to respect and come back and say, here, we want to give you our business.
Yes, absolutely, 100%.
And Danny DeVito's been around now for a couple of years.
Yeah, he's been phenomenal for the brand, and it's just funny to see how he kind of just crosses all ages. We have 18-year-old kids to 7-year-old plus come in and say, "Oh, I love Danny. Give me what Danny gets in the commercial," that kind of stuff. So it's been good.
So 47 stores now is great.
Yeah.
But it didn't start with 47 stores.
Yeah, no.
And I want to understand the hustle and the journey of again, now it's it's different, but you're managing now, an operation. But when you first started, and you and John had 2 stores, what was that like?
Yeah. I mean, look, it was really lean years. We were behind the counter 24/7. He's kind of a morning person. I'm kind of a night person. So he'd open the store. We'd work all day together, and I'd close the store. And we would just do that every single day. So there was a lot of nights and days coming home smelling like oil and vinegar. I was 30 years old at the time when I left law to do this, so I was living at home with my parents.
Yeah.
I was single, driving a beat-up car, all those kind of things. I did everything they said not to do in business. I maxed my credit cards. I rated my 401k just to try to make this work. And there was a lot of days and months where we were like, oh man, I don't know, can we do this? You know, and we always had this, and I guess it was naive at the time because I didn't have a wife and kids and everything. Then was like, no way we're going to fail. Of course we're going to succeed. Of course we're going to get,
You had that mindset, though.
I had that mindset. There's just no way we're going to ever fail. Now I look back and I'm like, oh my gosh. What was that crazy? Exactly, yeah. So I think that kind of played in my favor at the time. And,
But you could take a risk. You live with mom and dad.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario.
Yeah.
You got 6 months more on the couch.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right,
like really,
right.
as long as they're not kicking you out.
Yeah.
Bring them home a sub every now and then.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, and no parent wants to see their child not succeed. So
Yeah.
like they wanted to see you successful.
Sure.
So they gave you the runway.
100%.
And I think it's better that you didn't have a wife and kids at the time.
Yeah, because it allowed me to just spend all the time that and just
and work it.
And work it. That's
what
it.
was the first store?
Our first store was in Cinnaminster, New Jersey, down in southern New Jersey.
Oh, so you didn't even waste any time. You drove an hour.
Oh yeah, we were driving an hour back and forth, and then eventually when we got it going a little bit, we rented a small, tiny little apartment that me, John, and 2 managers were living out of. He had a wife and 2 kids at the time, so he was going back and forth. It was crazy. So, but again, we just had that mindset of just like get the next one open, get the next one open.
Do you still have that store?
Yeah, we do still.
Have you ever sold any of your stores, or
No.
they all none of them have closed?
Never,
right?
never. Yeah.
So you just keep adding to the mix.
Yeah, I don't want to sell. Just keep growing.
There you go. So that store starts to succeed.
Yep.
And then you decided to just jump into the second store.
Yeah, so we had signed for that because there was no stores down there at the time. There was only like 200 stores when I first came on, so there wasn't
2,000 stores to over 3,000.
Yeah. So we signed for kind of that little territory down there. So we knew we wanted to open more. We just, we begged, borrowed, and stole money-wise to get them open, whatever people we could find, and that kind of thing. So we just kind of built it one at a time. And then as we got bigger, we were able to buy 1 or 2 here. And, 90% of the stores we've started from scratch, but we've bought a couple here and there as we got bigger. And it's funny, that old saying of, the banks will give you money when you really don't need it. It was like one of those things is now that we're able to get money from banks, but in the beginning it was tight. It was hard. We had to really do whatever we
were
can.
just kind of scraping by, like
literally
using cash flow and then borrowing some money.
Exactly.
So kind of holding back your own lifestyle.
Yeah. I mean, John and I weren't making anything for a long time,
Yep.
So. But again, I think just having that mindset of like we're gonna do this no matter what.
This is the real entrepreneurial story because like you just did it, like, and you kept going.
Yeah.
There had to be some days you're like, "Am I crazy?"
So it's funny. I get that question a lot, and I never ever have regretted it ever. There was one time where I questioned. I'll never forget. We were at we're probably an hour. I don't even know 70, 80 hours in a week, and I remember I was on my hands and knees literally and I was scrubbing the toilet at the end of the night. And I was like, what the hell did I just do? I was like, my one moment where I was like, did I do the right thing? And it lasted 5 minutes. And then, it was by far the best thing I've ever done. Changed my life, changed my family's life. I couldn't be more blessed. Yeah.
It just worked. I just kind of hustled through it.
Yeah. No matter what happened.
And again, you had a partner that was also putting in the same effort, so it had to be a little bit easier than being on your own. Because when you're doing this, it can be lonely at times.
100%.
Nobody understands. And again, in your mind, you're thinking about something that has to get done at Jersey Mike's right now while you're on this podcast.
100%.
This morning when you left your house to come here,
yes,
you were like, I still have 5 more things to do.
Yeah,
you're like, I got to get here. And then when you're at family parties and you're out wherever with friends, you're always thinking about so. It's good that you have a partner because other times other entrepreneurs are just on their own. They're
it's a lot.
They know it has to get done, but they're also like, oh man.
No, that's the biggest thing I still struggle with today is being present at home with my wife and kids, which, I'm super lucky to have, but also being present at work when you're there. So, John and I call it work-life presence, not work-life balance. So when you're at one, be there, be 100% in, and then when you're at the other, be there. So, and that's not easy. I think that's the biggest thing I struggle with, and I think most entrepreneurs probably struggle with.
There's always one more thing. On my phone, on my Apple Notes, get a lot of use.
Yeah, mine too.
I'll just throw something in there just as a reminder.
Yes.
Just if nothing else, again, I want to be home and I want to be home, but I just want one more thing, just so I don't forget it for tomorrow morning or for later when
Yeah. Well, I think entrepreneurs have that mind. They could always get better. They could always one more thing. They could always.
And, again, we don't. I know in my business, I'm not trying to get better or to do it. I want to get better because I want to get better. I want to be better than yesterday. I don't care about what happened yesterday. I care about how do we get better from today forward.
Sure, absolutely.
And, again, it sounds like the same kind of thing you guys are thinking about all the time.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's a double-edged sword, right? Because it's what makes you great, but it also could drive you crazy.
It makes you nuts in the process.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're like, what am I doing? Good is good here, but good could always be a little bit better.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
So, and now your office is local, even though you're everywhere.
Yeah. So we have our office in Point Pleasant Beach,
Oh, awesome.
which is kind of a perfect spot because it's probably a mile and a half from John's house, mile and a half from my house. So we try to get out, and be in the stores as much as possible, be out on the road as much as possible. I think being in the offense is like being in the office is like playing defense. Being outside is like playing offense.
Yeah,
You need a little bit of both. I think every time we get out of the office, you're really starting to move the ball forward, whether it's being with real estate or, whatever the case is, being with the team, that kind of stuff.
And how many people in all your stores are you get employed by you?
We have about 900 team members.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So 900 people.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. Sometimes when I see that number, I'm like, oh man.
When you look at the payroll number, you're like, oh. But then you look at the other side, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, that's great. I'm providing employment for 900 people.
Yeah. So it's humbling in a lot of ways, but it's also like I think sometimes like, wow, that's 900 people where a decision I make could affect them, right? So it's like I don't take that lightly. Like it's very important to me that.
That you're thinking through things.
Exactly, 100. Yes. Exactly.
But again, mindset drives that.
Yeah.
The right mindset keeps you grounded. Keeps you. I always say you want to make sure that I try to make this consistent decisions. I don't like to be an erratic decision maker. There's some people that you're like, you made a decision yesterday that sounds nothing like this decision today.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you're right.
I might be wrong twice.
Yeah.
But at least I was consistently wrong, right? But this is great. What else do you have to tell the young entrepreneur who's thinking about starting out?
Yeah. I think it's leadership. One of our core values is servant leadership, and I think a lot of people think leadership is what they see on TV, where they're managers or leaders are yelling and screaming at everybody, and they say do this for me and do that for me, and they really care about what their results are. And I think where the biggest change I think in leadership that has been important to us is servant leadership is what can I do to help you get your goals, and rather than the manager saying what can you do for me, it's what can I do for you to help you to get to where you want to go. Yeah. So I think we really try to instill that, and that's one thing I learned. If you have a lot of people in your organization trying to help everybody else get to their goals, that's a super powerful thing because you have all these people just saying, how can I help you get better? How can I help you get better? And I don't know if I'm sure you've heard of Zig Ziglar. He's a leadership coach, and he has a great quote. He says, you can have anything you want in your life as long as you're willing to help enough others get what they want. Yes, and I think that in my head just kind of makes so much sense in business. Yeah. So
that's awesome. So let people know. Let them know where to find you online. And do you guys have your own socials, or you just go through the main?
Yeah, everything's through jerseymikes.com.
So jerseymikes.com.
Yep.
And we brought a sandwich here today.
I love it.
This is my favorite sandwich.
Number 7. That's mine too.
Is that like the most popular sandwich?
It's the number 1 selling sandwich.
Turkey, provolone. I do not do a Jersey Mike's way.
Yeah.
I don't like all that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm very basic. I go with the mayo, a little bit of lettuce, and oregano.
That's perfect. I love it. That's very similar to how I get it. Yeah.
What's the Jersey Mike's way? Let everybody know that.
Yeah, onions. It's Mike's way we call it. It's just onions, lettuce, tomato, oil, vinegar, salt, and oregano.
Yeah, that's too much for me.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot. So.
Awesome. Maddie, thanks for coming on today.
Yeah.
This was a great chat. I hope that this inspires entrepreneurs to see what success equals, starting hustling, running a store, 80 hours a week to, seeing the growth and really making it happen.
Yeah. Really appreciate having me. This is an awesome thing you do.
It's great to see you.
Likewise. Thank you.